I'm Debbie the researcher.
And I'm Judy the athlete, and we're here to help you better your best. I've worked with a lot of athletes. Sometimes, maybe just one time, they come to me or they come to a camp or something like that, and they're very, very, very focused on the steps of their shot, the very analytical steps of step. I've seen some show up, they have index cards or they have a checklist that they're pulling out of their quiver and looking at before each shot, and they're literally going through that in the head. And I think the steps are really important when I'm learning the skill and I'm putting it together. But when somebody's been shooting for a long time and I still see that,
what, even 2-3 years?
Yeah,
2-3
and
years.
I still, that reliance on those steps,
right?
I really struggle because the shot looks steppy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because they're literally still stepping.
Yes, that's right. Well, a couple of things you said, man, is very correct, is when you learn, you've got to do the steps. It's called the analytic phase of learning a motor program. And then the next phase is associative, or cause and effect. And it'll have some steppiness to it, but it ought to be smoothing out. They ought to be able to know if they did it or not at that point. And then the final stage is automatic. We're not thinking of those steps at all.
Right.
But I think they get stuck in the steps. Our players get stuck in the mechanics because they don't know what else to think about, but there's plenty more for them to be doing. I mean, what comes to mind always was your image. I remember your imagery's great. You had that image of the pole. Rebar, yep, yeah. Going through, and you just moved around it. That would be tremendous for allowing your self-organization, your system to put together the motion now, and you've got a solid anchor there, and then shoot the shot, right?
I think a lot in terms of, you said to me they're metaphors where, for me, the next step is after I've got those steps down, now can I see it as a dance? Mm-hmm. Can I see it as a flow or a string of music if maybe I'm auditory? Something like that where it's not. And as soon as I bring something like that up, boy, I see a huge smooth change. And I think you're right. They just don't know what to do to get out of steps.
Yeah. And I mean, the target's right there in front of you. You can do the target, you can start and finish. We love start and finish. Breathe and finish, and just let the rest of it take care of itself because it's learned already.
Right.
Yeah. And they'll be so much more successful.
So step 7 is move on from the steps.
Move on.